Welcome developers, I am Vijay Singh and I warmly welcome you to the Android Basic to Advanced course. If you watch this entire course, I believe you will learn how to create apps on your own and even upload them to the Play Store. So in this course, we will use latest technologies such as Kotlin, which is very powerful and Google recommended language. We will start from very basic, like how to use text view and button, and how to use third-party libraries in Gradle file. Along with this, we will create 7 apps one by one. The first app will be tip calculator, which will tell us how much tip to give at different places. The second app will be stopwatch, where we will learn how to create a stopwatch in Android Studio. And the third app will be EMI calculator, which will calculate the EMI we need to pay. Fourth app will be BMI calculator, which will tell us our body mass index BMI. The fifth app will be to-do list app, where we can add tasks and delete them once completed. The sixth app will be random joke generator, which will display a new joke in every time using an API. And our seventh and final app will be full-fledged calculator. Overall, you will learn a lot from this course. So don't wait. Enroll this course quickly. I will see you inside the course. Welcome back developers. In this video, we will download and install Android Studio. So for downloading Android Studio, we will open our browser and here we will write Android Studio. Perfect. And here we will click on this website. And from here we will download it. And accept the terms and condition here and download. Perfect. So our Android Studio is successfully downloaded. Now we will install it. So for installing it, we will go to the download folder and here we will install it. I am not installing because I have already installed, but you can install it. Perfect. So in this video, we have downloaded our Android Studio and installed it. And in next video, we will create our first project and learn about the user interface of Android Studio. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video, we have installed Android Studio and in this video, we will create our first project. So let's get started. So first of all, we will open Android Studio and here we will click on new project. And then we will select empty views activity. Next here we will enter the name of our project. So for now I am writing first project. Then this is our package name. Package name is basically a unique name for our app. Then we have save location for our project. Here you can select the location of project and then language. We have two options, Java and Kotlin. But we are choosing Kotlin because Kotlin is latest language and Google also forcing Android developers to use Kotlin language. So this is minimum SDK. Minimum SDK, it means the lowest version of Android that your app can support. So for now it will Android 7.0. Next, build configuration language. For now, we will set it Kotlin DSL. It's recommended. Then we will click on finish. And now it will take some time according to your PC specification. Perfect. So we have successfully created our first project. Now you can see a lot of things on display, but don't worry. In next video, we will explain everything one by one. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video, we successfully created our first project, and in this video, we will understand file system of Android Studio. So first of all, we will close these two files. Perfect. So now, there are majorly four types of file in Android Studio, like main.fist file, Kotlin files, layout files, and Gradle files. Perfect. So first we will understand what is main.fist file. So here you can see this is our main.fist file. The main.fist file is a crucial part of our Android application. It acts like a roadmap for our app and tell the Android system about our app structure and component. Second files are Kotlin files. So you can see here this file is our main activity.kt. This is our Kotlin file. Kotlin files are where we will write the logic of our application. These files typically have .kt extension, as you can see here. And the third are layout files. For layout file you can see this files you can see this file is a layout file. Layout file define the user interface of our application. They are basically XML files. You can see that. Perfect. And fourth is Gradle file. You can see here these Gradle files. Gradle files are used to build configuration in our Android Studio. These files define how your project is built, including the dependencies it required and etc. Perfect. So in this video we have understand that there are four major types of file in Android Studio. Number one is manifest file. Number two is Kotlin file. Number three is XML file, basically layout file, and number four is Gradle file. Both files have their uses, and in next video we will understand how we make buttons and how we will use click effect and more. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video we learned about Android file system, where I explained that there are primarily four types of file in Android Studio. So in this video we will understand layouts, buttons and text views. So let's get started. In Android Studio, a layout defines the structure for a user interface in our app, such as in an activity. All the visual elements like button, text field and images are arranged in a layout. So there are three most commonly used layouts. First one is constraint layout, second one is linear layout, and third one is relative layout. First, let's understand what is constraint layout and how does it work. Constraint layout is a powerful layout manager in Android Studio that allows you to create flexible and dynamic user interface. It works by defining relationship or constraint between different UI elements. As you can see, constraint layout has been already used here. Now we will create a button with the width of 50 dp and height of 50 dp. Perfect. Now you can see that how I am aligning this button using constraint. Perfect. Now we will create a text view with a width of match parent and height of wrap content, and the text will be hello for now. The text size will be set to 50 sp and text style will be bold, text alignment to center, and the text color is to black. Now we can also align this text view using constraint. Perfect. So now we will learn about linear layout. Linear layout is a layout manager in Android Studio that arranges its children linearly, either horizontally or vertically. So for now, let's change this linear layout orientation to vertical. We will create a button as we did before. Then we will copy paste this button. You can see that buttons are now stacks one below the others. And now if we change its orientation to horizontal, you can see that they are horizontally stacked. Perfect. So now that you have learned about linear layout works, let's understand bit more about buttons. For instance, if we want to add image to this button, we can do that too. For this, we need an image in our drawable folder since we don't have anyone right now. So let's quickly create it. So we will right click on drawable, then select new and then vector asset. From here, we will choose any icon. Perfect. Now in the background of this button, we will select this icon. And we will also set the height and width of the button to be same. Perfect. Now you can see that icon is now showing up. Perfect. So now we have learned how to set image in button. So next we will learn about relative layout. Relative layout is a layout manager in Android Studio that positions its children relative to another or parent layout. Actually, we can say that it's somewhat similar to constraint layout. For example, in relative layout, when we create a button, you can see that it also has chains just like constraint layout, allowing user to align it perfectly. So now that we have understood the three layouts and buttons and text views, let's dive into few more things. For example, let's create an image view with the width and height of 200 dp. We will choose an icon for its background. Perfect. But you might not see the image because it's white and the background is also white. So let's change the background color to black. Perfect. Now you can see the image. Exactly. From here we can create a lot of things. If you want to create a list view, you can do that. And there are many more components you can create like radio buttons, search views and more. The possibilities are endless. So, in this video we have learned a lot of things. Remember, the more you practice creating UIs with these components, the faster and better you will learn. That's it for this video. I will see you in my next video. Welcome back developers. In last video, we learned about layouts and buttons. And in this video, we will learn about edit text and user input. So let's get started. So we want to write some text in an edit text and then by pressing OK button, display the text in a text view. Perfect. For this, we will need three things. First, of course, an edit text. Second, a button that will press to display the edit text data in text view. And third, a text view where the data will be shown. Perfect. So first we will create an edit text with width of match parent and height of wrap content. After this, we will assign an ID to this edit text, which is very important because the ID is how we will identify it. Perfect. Next, we will add a hint to guide the user on what to write on this edit text. Perfect. Although our edit text is almost complete, but it looks a bit too high. So we will add some margin to it. Perfect. Now our edit text is fully ready. So now we will create a button with a width of wrap content and height of wrap content. Perfect. We will also assign an ID to this button. But remember, that ID must be always unique. In fact, there should never be two identical IDs in the entire project. Perfect. So we have assigned an ID. Now we will give the button a text label that says show text. Perfect. As you can see in the UI, this button is currently above the edit text, but we want to be below the edit text. So in the layout, we will set the layout below property to the edit text's ID. Perfect. Now you can see that the button is below the edit text. So now we will set center horizontal to true to center the button horizontally. And we will set a top margin of 20 dp. Perfect. Now it looks great. So our button is ready, and now it's time for the text views. So we will create a text view with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will also assign an ID to it. For now, we will leave its text to empty. We will set its layout below property to button's ID. Perfect. We will set the text size to 50 sp. The top margin should be 20 dp and align the text to center so that the text appear in centered. Perfect. We also need to add @ID in front of text views ID to ensure it's correctly referenced. Perfect. Now all three components are ready and it's time to add logic. To implement logic, we will open the main activities Kotlin file. Perfect. So here we will declare some variable of the components we have created in UI file. First we will declare the edit text variable. Perfect. Now we will declare the button variable in the same way we did for edit text. Similarly, we will declare the text view variable. Perfect. Now we have declared three variables for all three components. We have declared the variable, but we need to connect them to the UI elements. So first let's connect the edit text. We will do this by writing edit text equals find view by ID followed by the ID of the edit text. Sure. We will connect the buttons using its ID in similar way. Then we will connect the text view using its ID. Perfect. Now that we have connected all three components using their IDs, it's time for actual logic, which will be triggered by pressing the button. First, we will write button.setOnClickListener. Perfect. Inside this setOnClickListener method, we will write the code that we want to run when the button is clicked. So when the button is clicked, we will create a variable name input text and assign the data from the edit text to it using edit text.text.toString. Then we will set the text of text view to input text using text view.text equal to input text. This way the data will be displayed in text view. Perfect. So our code is ready. Let's test it. We will run the app and see how it's behaved. Perfect. The app is now open. Let's type hello in edit text and press show text button. And here you go. You can see hello is displayed in text views. Now let's try typing something else. Perfect. That also shows up. It means our app is working correctly. However, there is an issue. Whenever I close the app and reopen it, the text that was displayed in text view is disappeared. But I want that to remain text visible in text view even after reopening the app. So in next video, we will solve this problem. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video, we ran the app and it was working fine. However, there was a problem when we closed the app and reopened it. The text in text view is disappeared. So in this video, we will solve this problem using shared preference. So let's get started. First of all, we will define a companion object in Kotlin to encapsulate constant related to shared preference. Within this companion object, we declare two constant properties, preference name and text keys. Preference name holds the name of the shared preference file we will use to store our data. Set here as my preference file. Next, the text key serves as constant key under which we will store the text data within the shared preference file named saved text. Name of the shared preference file, preference name, and specifying the access mode context.mode private. This method allows to access the shared preferences specific to our app. Then we fetch the saved data from shared preferences using the getString method. We provide the key text key under which the text is stored. If no data is found under this key, an empty string is returned. Finally, we set the retrieved text data saved text to display the text view. This ensures that the text previously saved in shared preferences is displayed to user when the app opened again. Next, inside the onClick listener method, we obtain an instance of shared preferences editor by calling the edit method on the setting object. This editor object allows us to modify shared preferences data. Then we use the putString method of editor object to store in input text in shared preferences file. We provide the text key under which the text will be stored. Finally, we apply the changes made to the shared preferences file by calling apply method on the editor object. This ensures that the changes are committed and saved synchronously in background. Great. Our code is now complete and let's test it. The app is now open and let's type hello in edit text. Then click show text button and you can see hello is displayed in text view. Now let's close the app and reopen it. Perfect. As you can see, this time the text has not disappeared, which means shared preferences is working correctly. Great job. In this video, we learn how to use shared preferences and I hope you are learning well and also practicing daily because practice is very important. The more you practice, the sooner you will become a professional Android developer. Keep practicing like this. I will see you in my next video. Welcome back developers. In last video, we learned about how to use shared preferences. And today's video, we will start making some real apps that you can even upload on Play Store. Excited? So the first step we will create is a tip calculator. So first, let's understand what the tip calculator will do. Basically, whenever we pay bill at hotel or any other places, we can't calculate how much tip we should give. So in this app, we will include some fixed tip percentage such as 10% or 15%. When you click on a percentage, the app will instantly tell you the tip amount. For example, if you want to give 15% tip, it will show you how much that will be. So let's start creating the app. First, open Android Studio and click on new project. Perfect. Next, click on empty views activity. After that, we will enter the name of our app here. We will leave all the other settings as default. By the way, I have explained the purpose of all these settings in previous videos. Perfect. Now click on finish. And it will be take some time to set up. Perfect. Our project has successfully built. Now let's open the XML file of main activity. Click on split. By clicking on split, we will be able to see the code on one half of the display and the UI on other half. Perfect. So first, we will change this constraint layout to relative layout. Then we will set a nice background color for this relative layout. After that, we will remove the existing text view. Next, we will create a new text view with the width of wrap content and height also be wrap content. We will give it an ID. Perfect. Now we will set the text for this text view to tip calculator and set the text size to 30 sp. Perfect. Next we will choose a nice text color. And set text style to bold. We will also set layout center horizontal to true and set bottom margin to 16 dp. Perfect. Our text view is created. Next, we will create a material text input layout. Its width will be match parent and its height will be wrap content. We will give it an ID and set the top margin to 60 dp. For the hint, we will use enter total bill. We will set it to be positioned below text view we created earlier by using text views ID. Lastly, we will set the bottom margin to 16 dp. Perfect. Now inside this, we will create a material text input edit text. Its width will be wrap content and height will be also wrap content. We will set the input type to number decimal. Perfect. However, we will change the width to match parent to make it look better. Next, we will create a text view. Its width will be wrap content and height will also be wrap content. We will give it an ID and set the text size to 20 sp. We will position it below the bill amount input by using its ID. The text will be choose tip, and we will set the bottom margin to 8 dp. Perfect. Now we will create a radio group. Its width will be match parent and height will be wrap content. We will assign it an ID and position it below the bill amount layout. We will set its orientation to horizontal and set the top margin to 30 dp. Also, we will set the bottom margin to 16 dp. Perfect. Next, we will create a radio button. Its width will be wrap content and height will also be wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set text to 10%. After that, we will set the margin from end to 16 dp. Perfect. Similarly, we will create two more radio buttons for 15% and 20%. Next, we will create a button. Its width will be match parent and height will be wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set the text to calculate. We will position it below radio group. We will set a nice background tint color. And change the text color to white. Also, we will set the bottom margin to 16 dp. Perfect. Next, we will create a linear layout. Its width will be match parent and its height will be approximately 300 dp. Perfect. So now we want to create a custom shape for this linear layout. To create custom shape with rounded corners, we will right click on drawable, then select new and choose drawable resource file. Here we will name it and click OK. First, we will remove the selector and create shape. Perfect. Then we will round the each corner. Now we will give it a nice color. Perfect. Our custom shape is ready. Now we will go back to our linear layout and set this shape as its background. After that, we will position it below calculate button. Next, we will create a text view. Its width will be match parent and height will be wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set top margin to 30 dp. Then we will center align the text, set the text to tip amount, set the text size to 40 sp, make the text style bold, set the text color, and position it below the calculate button. Next, we will create another text view. Its width will be match parent and height will be wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set the text to total amount. Then we will set the text size to 20 sp, make the text style bold, set the top margin of 20 dp, center align the text, and position it below the tip amount text view. Finally, we will set the bottom margin to 4 dp. Perfect. We will also add a margin of 10 dp to this linear layout. Perfect. So in this video, we have created the UI for the tip calculator app. Hope you enjoyed making it as much as I did. In the next video, we will work on the backend part and make it functional. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video, we created the UI for tip calculator. And in this video, we will work on its backend. So let's get started. First, we will make the app display in full screen. To do this, we will open the values folder and open the themes file. Here we will set window full screen to true. Perfect. Now we will close all the files and open main activities Kotlin file. From here we will remove some unnecessary code. First of all, we will declare some variable. The first variable is bill amount edit text. Which is type of text input edit text. This will be used to input the bill amount. Next we have tip options group, a radio group that will hold the radio buttons for selecting the tip percentage. After that, we will declare the result text view, a text view where the total bill amount, including the tip, will be displayed. Then we have tip amount text view, another text view to show the calculated tip amount. Finally, we will declare calculate button, a button that user will click to perform the calculation. We use the let int keyword with this variable, which allows to declare them without initializing them right away. Next, we will connect each of these variables to their respective IDs. First, we need to connect the bill amount edit text to its ID. We realized that we forgot to assign an ID to this element in main activities layout file. So let's go back to the main activities layout file and assign an ID to the bill amount edit text. Perfect. Now in the main activities Kotlin file, we will connect bill amount edit text to its ID. Similarly, we will connect the rest of components with their respective IDs. Perfect. Now we will set an on-click listener for the calculate button. Inside this listener, we will call a method named calculative. We have called this method, but we have not created it yet. So let's go ahead and create this method. We will create the method called calculative. Inside this method, we will retrieve the input from bill amount edit text. And convert it to a string. If the input is empty, we will display a message in result text view asking the user to enter a valid bill amount, and then we will return from the method. Then we will convert the bill amount string to a double. After that, we will get the ID of selected tip option from the tip option group. If no option is selected, we will display a message in the result text view asking the user to select a tip percentage. And then we will return from the method. Next, we will determine the tip percentage based on the selected radio button's ID. We will calculate the tip amount and the total amount by multiplying the bill amount by the tip percentage divided by 100. And then we will adding the tip amount to the total bill amount. Finally, we will display the tip amount and total amount in the tip amount text view and result text view formatted with 2 decimal places. Perfect. Next, we will create the icon for our app. To create the icon, we will right click on drawable folder, then select new and choose image asset. From here, we will choose the image for our icon. Once we have selected the image, click next and then click finish. After that, we will go to the main activities XML file and add 20 dp padding to the relative layout. Perfect. Now let's run the app and see how it's work. Perfect. Our app has opened. Let's test it. Enter the total bill amount, select the 10% tip option and click on calculate button. You can see that it's working perfectly. Now let's select 15% tip option. Oh, it seems like there is an issue. The 15% option is not working. So let's go back to the main activities Kotlin file and check the code. In the main activities Kotlin file, we realized that we used the wrong ID here for 15% option. Let's correct this mistake. Now let's run the app again and see if it works. Perfect. The 15% option is now working correctly. You have learned a lot of new things while building this app, and this is just the beginning. We will create many more exciting apps in the future. So see you in the next video where we will build a stopwatch. Welcome back developers. In last video, we made tip calculator app, and in this video, we will create a stopwatch. So let's get started. So first of all, we will create a project for stopwatch. To create project, we will open Android Studio. Then we will click on new project. Next, we will select empty views activity and then click next. Perfect. Now we will name our app and leave the rest of setting as default. Then we will click on finish. Great. Now it will take some time for project to build. Perfect. Our project has been built. Now we will first open the XML file of main activities and click on split so that we can see the code on half of the display and the UI on the other half of display. Great. Now we will replace the constraint layout with the relative layout. In this relative layout, we will choose a background color. The color should be somewhat dark so that it looks great. Now we will remove this existing text view and we will create a new text view with width of match parent and height of wrap content. The text will be stopwatch. We will set the text size to 60 sp. The text alignment to center. And the top margin to 50 dp. Additionally, we will set the text style to bold and the text color to white. We will set align parent top to true and bottom margin to approximately 20 dp. Perfect. Our text view is now complete. Next, we will create another text view with a width of match parent and a height of wrap content. We will give it an ID. Set the text size to 100 sp and align the text to the center. We will choose an attractive text color. And set the initial text to 00. Then we will set center in parent to true so that it is centered in layout. Perfect. Our text view is now created. And you can see that the design of the stopwatch is starting to take shape. Next, we will create a linear layout with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. Its orientation will be set to horizontal. We will set align parent bottom to true the bottom margin of approximately 20 dp and center horizontal to true. Perfect. Now inside the linear layout we will create a button with the width of 0 dp and height of wrap content. We set the width to 0 dp because there will be another button in this linear layout. So we don't want each button to take up full screen width. We will give this button an ID and set its layout weight to 1. It shares the available space equally with the other button. Additionally, we will set a margin of 30 dp. Next, we want to give this button a custom layout. To do this, we need to create a custom drawable resource file. We will right click on drawable folder, then click on new and select drawable resource file. Perfect. Now we will enter the file name here and click OK. Great. Now instead of selector we will choose shape. Then we will round the corners by setting the top left, top right, bottom left and bottom right radius to 20 dp. Perfect. Now we will give it a nice color. Perfect. Now back to the main activities XML file. We will use the custom shape as the background for our button. Then we will set the text of button to start and choose a nice color for background tint. After that we will make the text style bold and set the text color to dark. Perfect. Our button is now complete. Now let's create another button for the reset functionality. Its width will be 0 dp and height will be wrap content. We will assign an ID to it. Let's set its layout weight to 1 and give it a margin of 30 dp. Then we will set its background to the custom shape we created earlier. And then we will choose a background tint color. We will make the text style to bold and choose a dark text color. Finally, we will set the text to reset. Perfect. Our UI is almost ready. Now, to make the app full screen, we will navigate to the values folder inside drawable folder and open the themes file. Here we will set Windows full screen to true. Perfect. So in this video we have created the UI for stopwatch, and in next video we will build its backend. So keep practicing and I will see you in the next video. Welcome back developers. In last video we created the UI for our stopwatch, and in this video we will build its backend. So let's get started. So first of all, let's close all the open files and open the main activities Kotlin file. From here we will remove some unnecessary code. Next, we will declare some variables. We will use TV timer to reference the text view displaying the timer. Button start pause for button to start or pause the stopwatch. And button reset for the reset. We will also set up some boolean and a long variable to manage the stopwatch functionality. Additionally, we will initialize handler object to handle timing events. We have created stopwatch runnable which implements the runnable interface. This allows us to define a block of code that can be executed by thread inside the run method of this runnable. We calculate the time since the stopwatch started by subtracting the current system time using system clock dot sleep time real time from the start time variable. We then convert the time into minutes, seconds and milliseconds. To calculate minutes, we divide this time by 6000, the number of milliseconds in a minute, and convert it into an integer. To calculate seconds, we take the remainder of the time divided by 6000, then divide that by 1000, the number of milliseconds in a second. And convert it into an integer. For millisecond, we take the remainder of time divided by 1000 and divide that by 10 to get 2 digits millisecond. After calculating the time components, we format the time to string based on whether the time exceeds 1 minute. If it does, we display the time in the format of this. Otherwise, we display it the format like this. We then update the TV timer text view with the formatted time string. Finally, we use a handler to post a runnable with the delay of 50 milliseconds. This ensures that the run method is called every 50 milliseconds, allowing the stopwatch timer to update continuously. Next, In the onCreate method, we will connect some components with their IDs that we have declared in XML file. The first one is TV timer, and we will connect it with its ID using find view by ID. Similarly, we will connect button start pause and button reset with their IDs using find view by ID. This allows us to access and manipulate these UI elements programmatically. Next, we set an on-click listener for the button start pause button. Inside this listener, if the stopwatch is currently running, we call the pause stopwatch method, which will pause the stopwatch. If the stopwatch is not running, we will call the start stopwatch method, which will start the stopwatch. Similarly, we set an on-click listener for the button reset. Inside this listener, we call the reset stopwatch method, which will reset the stopwatch. Yes, I see that there are some errors indicating that methods are not found because we have not created these methods. So now we will create these three methods. First, we will create start stopwatch method. Inside this method, if the stopwatch is not already running, we calculate the start time by subtracting the pause time from the current system time. System clock.elapsed real time. We then post the stopwatch runnable to the handler to start updating the timer continuously. We set is running to true and change the text of button start pause to pause. Next, we will create the pause stopwatch method. Inside this method, we first check if the stopwatch is currently running. If it is running, we remove the stopwatch runnable from the handler. To stop updating the timer, then we calculate the pause time by subtracting the start time from the current system time, system clock.elapsed real time. After that, we set is running variable to false to indicate that stopwatch is paused. And finally, we update the text of button start pause to start, indicating that pressing the button will start stopwatch again. Next, we will create the reset stopwatch method. Inside this method, first we remove the stopwatch runnable from the handler to stop updating the timer. Then we set the is running variable to false. We reset the pause time to 0. Then we update the TV timer text view to display 00, indicating that the stopwatch has been reset. Finally, we update the text of the button start pause to start, indicating that pressing the button will start the stopwatch. Next, we will create the app icon. To do this, we will right click on drawable folder, then select new and choose image asset. Then we will choose image. and then we will click on OK. Perfect. So our app icon is successfully created. Now let's run the app and see how it's look. Perfect. The app has been successfully launched and all functions are working well. Great job. In this video, we learn how to create a stopwatch app. I hope you learn a lot of things from this video. And in next video, we will create an EMI calculator. So keep practicing until then. And I will see you in the next exciting video. Welcome back developers. In last video, we made a stopwatch. And in this video, we will create an EMI calculator app. So let's get started. So first, we will understand how the EMI calculator works. Basically, we will input the principal amount and the interest percentage and the number of months. The calculator will then tell us what the monthly EMI will be. So let's start creating this app. So first, we will open Android Studio and click on New Project. Then we will select Empty Views Activity. After that, we will enter the name of the app and leave the rest of setting as default. Perfect. Now click on Finish. This will take little bit time to build the project. Perfect. Our project has successfully built. Now we will open the XML file of main activity and click on Split. Perfect. So first of all, we will remove the existing text view and give this constraint layout a nice background color. Now we will create a linear layout with a width of match parent and a height of also match parent. Then we will set the orientation to vertical and padding to 16 dp. Now inside this linear layout, we will create a text view with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. In the text, we will write EMI calculator. We will set the text alignment to center and text size to 40 sp. And the text style to bold. And the text color to white. Perfect. After this, we will create a text input layout. With the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will set the top margin of 50 dp and the hint is principal amount. After this, we will create a text input edit text with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set its input type to number decimal. After that, we will create another edit text with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will set its hint to interest rate. After this, we will create a text input edit text with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set its input type to number decimal. After that, we will create another text input layout with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will set its hint to tenure. Then we will create text input edit text with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set input type to number. After this, we will create a button with the width of 200 dp and height of wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set its layout gravity to center horizontal and set top margin to approximately 50 dp. Then we will set its text to calculate EMI. So now we will create a text view with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set its text color to white. Then we will align the text to center, set margin to 30 dp and in text we will write a text temporarily. Next we will set text size to 18 sp. The text style to bold and the top margin to 16 dp. Perfect. Our UI for EMI calculator is complete. Now we will navigate to values and open themes.xml file. Here we will set Windows full screen to true. Then we will create our app icon by right clicking on drawable, select new, then image asset and choose the image. Now we will click next and then finish the process. Perfect. Our app icon has been created. So in this video we have made the EMI calculator UI and in next video we will make the backend of EMI calculator. So I will see you in the next video. Welcome back developers. In last video, we created the user interface of our EMI calculator, and in this video, we will be working on building its backend. So let's get started. First, let's open main activities Kotlin file and remove some unnecessary code from here. Then we will create some variable and connect them with their corresponding IDs declared in main activities XML file. The first variable is principal edit text, which is connected to edit text with the ID of principal. The second variable is interest rate edit text, connected with the ID of interest rate. The third is tenure month edit text, connect with the ID of tenure months. Next we have calculate button. We will connect it with calculate button ID. Finally, result text view, connect with text view's ID of result. Next, we will create an on-click listener method for calculate button. Inside this, we will retrieve the values entered in edit text field for principal, annual rate, and tenure months. We will then convert these values to appropriate data types. Moving forward, if both principal and annual interest rate are not null, we will proceed to calculating the monthly interest rate. Subsequently, using the calculate EMI function, we will calculate the EMI based on provided inputs. Then we will set result in result text view, displaying the calculated monthly EMI. However, if any of input values are found to be null, we will handle this by displaying a message in the result text view that please enter valid inputs. Next, we define a private function named calculate EMI, which take three parameters: principal, interest rate, and tenure. Inside this function, we will check if the rate is equal to 0.0. If it is, we calculate the EMI using formula principal divided by tenure. However, if the rate is not equals to 0, we proceed to calculate the EMI using the formula calculate the numerator, which is the product of principal rate and raised to power of tenure. Calculate the denominator, which is plus 1 rate raised to power of tenure minus 1. Finally, we divide the numerator by the denominator to get EMI. This function returns the calculated EMI. Perfect. So our code is complete and now we will run it. Perfect. Our app is open and as you can see, it's working perfectly. So in this video, we created the EMI calculator. In next video, we will work on making BMI calculator. So do regular practice and I will see you in the next video. Welcome back developers. In last video, we created an EMI calculator. And in this video, we will be making a BMI calculator. So let's get started. First, we will open Android Studio and click on new project. Then we will select empty views activity and click next. After that, we will enter the name of the app and leave the rest setting as default. Perfect. Now click on finish. This will take a little bit time to build the project. Perfect. Our project has been successfully built. First, we open the XML file of main activity and click on split view here. Then we will delete the existing text view. Next, we will replace the constraint layout with linear layout. After that, we will give the linear layout a nice dark color. And set its orientation to vertical. Next, we will create a text view with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. The text size will be 45 sp. Then we will set the text style to bold. and align the text to center. Then we will set the text color to white and the top margin of approximately 50 dp. Finally, we will set the text to BMI calculator. Perfect. So our text view has been created. Next, we will create a text input layout with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. And we will give it an ID. Then we will set the start margin to 50 dp. And also end margin to 50 dp. And set top margin to approximately 32 dp. Inside this, we will create a text input edit text with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. And we will also give it an ID. Then we will set the hint to height in centimeter. And set the text color to white. After that, we will add a style to above text input layout, which we forgot to do earlier. Perfect. After this, we will create another text input layout with the width of match parent and height of wrap content, and we will give it an ID as well. Then in the style we will set to the material field box. Next we will set top margin to 32 dp. The start margin to 50 dp and the end margin to 50 dp. Perfect. Inside this, we will create a text input edit text with the width of match parent and height of wrap content, and we will give it an ID as well. Then we will set the int to weight in kg. And set text color hint to white. Perfect. After that, we will create a button. With the width of 200 dp and height of 70 dp. And we will give it an ID as well. Then we will set the top margin to 16 dp. Next, we will set the text to calculate. Set the text size to 20 sp. And text style to bold. We will choose a nice color for the background tint. And finally, we will set the layout gravity to center horizontal. Perfect. After that, we will create a text view with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. And we will give it an ID as well. Then we will set the top margin to 50 dp. Next, we will align the text to the center. Set the text color to white. And the text size to 40 sp. We will set the text style to bold. And for now, we will write perfect in the text. So our UI is now complete. Next, we will open the values directory and open the themes file. Here, we will set window full screen to true so that app run in full screen. Perfect. After that, we will create the app icon. For this, we will right click on drawable, then select new, then image asset, and choose the app logo from here. And you can also adjust the image if needed. Perfect. Now we will click on next and our app icon is created. So in this video, we have created the UI for BMI calculator, and in next video, we will work on building its backend. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video, we designed the user interface for our BMI calculator app, and in this video, we will work on building its backend. So let's get started. First, we will open the main activities Kotlin file and remove some unnecessary code. Next, in this file, we will declare some variable. The first variable is edit text height, which will reference an edit text view for entering the height. Second variable is edit text weight, which will reference an edit text view for entering weight. And the third variable is button calculate, which reference a button view for triggering the BMI calculation. The fourth variable is text view result, which will reference a text view for displaying the BMI result. Next, we will initialize this variable by finding their corresponding IDs in main activities XML file. We will assign the edit text weight variable the edit text view found by its ID, which is edit text weight. Similarly, we will assign the edit text height variable with its ID. Next, we will assign the button calculate variable with the ID of button calculate. Finally, we will assign the ID for text view result. Perfect. Now we set an on-click listener for the button calculate. Inside the on-click listener, we call the calculate BMI function. Perfect. Inside this function, we will retrieve the height entered in the edit text height, edit text field, and convert it into float. We divide it by 100 to convert it from centimeters to meter. Similarly, we retrieve the weight entered in the edit text weight and convert it into float. Then we calculate the BMI using the formula weight divided by height into height. Use a when expression when determine the BMI category based on calculate BMI value. If the BMI value less than 18.5, we will assign the value to underweight category. If it falls between 18.5 and 24.9, it's normal weight. Between 25 to 29.9, it's overweight. Otherwise, it's very overweight. Finally, we set the result in the text view result, displaying the calculated BMI value along with its category. Great. Our code is now complete. And now it's time to test it. We will click on run. It will take some time. Perfect. Our app is opened. And you can see that everything works fine. Perfect. So in this video, you have learned how to create BMI calculator, and in next video, we will create a to-do list app, which might be a bit challenging, but no worries, we will tackle it together. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video, we created a BMI calculator, and in this video, we will be making a to-do list app. So let's get started. So first, we will open Android Studio and click on new project. Then we will click on empty views activity and then click on next. Perfect. Now here we will enter the app name and leave the rest of the setting as default. Perfect. Now click on finish. So it will take some time for building the project. Perfect. Now our project has been successfully created. First, we will open Gradle files. And here we will implement the JSON library. Perfect. Now we will sync it. It has been synced successfully. Now we will open XML file of the main activity and click on split. First, we will change the constraint layout to relative layout. Then we will remove the text view. After that, we will choose a nice background for this relative layout. And set the padding to 16 dp. Perfect. Now we will create a text view with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will also give it an ID. Great. Next we will set the text to good morning. Set the text size to 30 sp. Make the text style to bold and change the text color to approximately purple. Now we will create a text input layout. With the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will also give it an ID. Then we will set the top margin of 20 dp. And add a hint saying enter new task. Next, we will set the layout below attribute to the ID of the top text view. We will also choose the same purple color for box stroke color. and set the box background mode to outline. Perfect. Now inside this text input layout, we will create a text input edit text. With the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will also give it an ID. Great. Next, we will create a button with the width of wrap content and height of wrap content also. We will give it an ID. Then we will set the layout below attribute to the ID of text input layout and set the top margin to 16 dp. Finally, we will set the text to add text. Perfect. Now we will create a list view with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will also give it an ID. And set the layout below attribute to the ID of the button. Next, we will set the top margin to 16 dp. Make the divider transparent. And set the divider height to 10.0 sp. Perfect. The UI of our main Activity XML is almost complete. Next, we will open the themes file inside the values folder. And set the window full screen attribute to true so that app runs in full screen mode. Perfect. Now we will open the Gradle properties file and here we will set Android enable Jetfire to true. Then we will sync it. Perfect. Now we will create a custom layout for the list view. So for this we will right click on layout folder, then select new and resource file, and here we will enter a file name. Then we will click OK. Great. Inside this file we first change the constraint layout to linear layout. And we will set its height to 50 dp and orientation to horizontal. Then we will set the margin to 10 dp. Perfect. Now we will create a custom background. So we will right click on drawable folder, then select new and resource file, and here we will enter the file name, then click OK. Inside this we will change the selector to shape, and here we will round all four corners by 10 dp. and choose a color. Perfect. Our custom background has been created. Now we will go back to the layout file where we will select the background we just created and also set the padding to 0. Perfect. Now we will create a text view with the width of 0 dp and height of wrap content. We will also give it an ID. Then we will set the layout weight to 1. And set the margin start to 20 dp. After that, we will set the layout gravity to center vertical. And set the text to sample task. Finally, we will set the text size to 18 sp. Great. Now we will create a button with the width of 25 dp and height of also 25 dp. We will also give it an ID. And set the margin and to 20 dp. After that, we will set the layout gravity to center vertical. Perfect. Alright, let's create a delete icon. So for this we will right click on drawable folder, then select a new, then vector asset, and from here we will choose the delete icon. And after this we will set its color to something like purple, then click finish. And now we will go back to the button and select this icon for it. Perfect. So in this video we have created the UI for our to-do list app, and in next video we will work on building its backend. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video we created the user interface for our to-do list app, and in this video we will be working on its backend, which is going to be a lot of fun. So let's get started. So first of all we will open Android Studio, and here we will close the all files, and then we will open the Kotlin file for main activity, and here we will remove some code. Perfect. So now we will define some variables. We will start with edit text task, which is an edit text for the task input field, which user will type their task. Next we will define a button add task, a button that user will click to add new task. And then we will define a list view task, a list view for displaying the list of tasks. Next we will also define text view greeting, a text view for displaying a greeting message like good morning, good evening, etc. Additionally, we will have an array list called task list to store the tasks. Finally, we will define a task adapter that will used to manage display the task in the list view. Next, we will define a variable for set preferences. We will use set preference, a set preference object to store and retrieve user preferences. This is initialized lazily using the by lazy keyword, which means it will only be created when it is first accessed. The set preferences is named our package name. And set to private mode, meaning the data will be accessible only within our application. Next, we will initialize our previously defined variables using findViewById method. We will start with edit text task, which will be linked to edit text view with the id of r.id.edit text task. Then we will initialize the button add task by linking it to the button view with the id of button add task. After that, we will initialize the list view task by linking it with list view task. Finally, we will initialize text view greeting by linking it to the top text id. Next, we will call two methods, load task and set greeting text. So we have called this method, but we will create them after some time, so don't worry. Next, we will create a custom adapter class named task adapter to manage the display of task in the list view. This class takes three parameters, a context and a array list of task and a lambda function on delete click for handling the delete button clicks. The class extend array adapter string and specify the type of data it will handle, which is a string in this case. Inside the task adapter class, we will override the getView method. Which is responsible for providing a view for each item in dataset. Next, we will check if convert view is null. If it is, we will inflate a new view using the layout inflator from provided context and layout resource. Called r.layout.listItemTask. Next, we will find the text view with the id art.id.textViewTask. And the button with the id art.button.delete. Within the inflated view, we will set the text of text view task to the task at the current position using getItemPosition. Then we will set onClickListener on the button delete to call the onDeleteClick lambda function with the current position as the argument when the delete button is clicked. Finally, we will return the view. Perfect. Next, we will initialize the task adapter and set it to the list view task. Then we will create an instance of task adapter by passing the current context, the task list, and a lambda function for handling item deletion. Inside the lambda function, we will remove the task at the given position from task list and notify the adapter of dataset change using notify data set changed, and call the save task function to save the updated task list. Then we will set the adapter of list view task to task adapter. Next, we will set an onClick listener for button at task. Inside this listener, we will get the task entered by the user from edit text task and check if it is not empty. If it is not empty, we will add the task to task list, notify the adapter of dataset change, call save task to save the updated task list, and clear the text from the edit text task. The save task function, we will save the task list to set preferences. Then we will create an editor from set preferences, convert task list to JSON using JSON. And save it with the key task list. And finally, we will apply the changes. Next, we will create a load task function. We will load the task from set preferences. We will get the JSON string of the task list from set preferences using the key task list. And if it is not null, we will convert it back to an array list string using JSON and Add all the saved tasks to task list. Lastly, we will define the set greeting text function to set the greeting text based on current time of day. We will get the current hour using calendar.get instance and get calendar.hour of day. Depending on the hour, we will set the text of text view greeting to good morning and good afternoon or good evening. Perfect. After this, we will create the app icon. To do this, we will right click on drawable, then select a new and then image asset, and from there we will choose the image and next we will click OK, then finish to complete the process. Okay, our app is now complete. Now it's time to run it. Great, our app has opened successfully. Now let's test. Perfect, it is working fine. I hope you enjoyed building this app. I am glad it's working well. Looking forward to seeing in the next video where we will be creating random joke generator app. Until then, take care. Welcome back developers. In last video, we created a to-do list app, and in this video, we will be building a random joke generator. So let's get started. First, let's open Android Studio. Then we will click on new project. After that, we will select empty views activity and then click next. And here we will enter the app name and leave the other setting as default. And finally, we will click on finish. And it might take some time for the project to build. Perfect. Our project has been successfully built. Now let's open the build.gradle file and ensure that JVM target is set to 1.8. After that, we will close the build.gradle file and open the manifest file. And here we will add the necessary internet permission. After that, we will open the themes.xml file and set Windows full screen to true. Once done, so we will close all the files and open the XML file of main activity. Then we will click on split. Perfect. Now we will select a background color for this constraint layout, and then we will remove this text view. After this, we will create a new text view with the width of match parent and height of wrap content. We will assign it an ID. Then we will set the text to joke generator. And align the text to the center. We will set the text color to white and text size to 40 sp and margin from top to 20 dp. We will make the text bold, and after that we will set the constraint to match the parent for both end to end and start to start. And similarly for top to top. Next, we will create a linear layout with the width of match parent and height of approximately 300 dp. And we will set the margin to 20 dp. Then we will create a custom background. To create a custom background, we will right click on drawable, then select a new, then new resource file. After that, we will enter the file name here and then click OK. Here, instead of selector, we will write shape. Then we will round all four corners by 20 dp. And after that, we will give it a nice color. Perfect. After that, we will go back to the linear layout and choose the custom shape we just created as the background. Then we will set the orientation to vertical. And next we will set the bottom constraint to bottom of parent. And the top constraint to top of the text view. Finally, we will set the layout margin bottom to 20 dp. Great job. Inside this linear layout, we will create an image view with the width and height set to 50 dp. We will set its layout gravity to center horizontal. And its margin top to 20 dp. After that, we will paste an emoji image to the drawable folder. If you don't have, I have provided in assets, so don't worry. You can choose from assets. Then we will choose this emoji in the background of image view. Perfect. After that, we will create another text view with the width of match parent and height of 0 dp. We will assign it an ID. and set the margin to 10 dp. Then we will set the top margin to 50 dp and give its layout weight to 1. We will set the text to press the button to get a joke. And align the text to the center. Set text color to white. And set the text size to 18 dp. After that, we will create a button with the width and height set to wrap content. We will assign it an ID and set layout gravity to center. Then we will set the top margin to 16 dp. And the bottom margin to approximately 5 dp. Yeah. We will give it a background tint with a color. And set text to get joke. Perfect. Our random joke generator app user interface has been successfully created. See you in next video where we will be create its backend. Welcome back developers. In last video, we created the UI for the joke generator app, and in this video, we will work on its backend. So let's get started. First, we will open Android Studio and close all the files from here. After that, we will open the Kotlin file of main activity and remove some code that we don't need. Next, we will create some variable and we will declare the first variable as joke text view, which is a text view, and the second variable is get joke button, which is a button. Next, we initialize the variable by finding the views with their IDs. We will use find view by ID to link the joke text view and get joke button to their corresponding views in layout. Then we will set up the get joke button to listen for click event using set on click listener method. When the button is clicked, it will trigger the fetch joke function. Next, we will create a fetch joke function. In fetch joke method, we will launch a coroutine using global scope.launch with the IO dispatcher to perform network operation of the main thread. We will call the get random joke function to fetch a random joke. Once we have retrieved the joke, we will switch context to the main thread using with context dispatcher.main to update the UI. Finally, we will set the text of joke text view to fetch joke, ensuring that UI is updated safely from the main thread. Now we will create the get random joke function, which will handle the retrieval of a random joke from an API. To start, we will form a URL using base URL along with the specific endpoint for fetching a random joke. Following this, we will establish an HTTP connection and set it request method to get. We will then check the response code to ensure that it indicates success. HTTP OK, status code 200. If the response is successful, we will proceed to read the input stream and convert it into readable format. Afterward, we will press the JSON response to extract both the setup and punchline of joke. These extracted components will be combined into a single string, which will represent the formatted joke. In case the request fails for any reason, we will return an error message indicating that joke fetch was unsuccessful. Additionally, we will define a companion object where we will declare the base URI constant, making it easily accessible throughout the class. Perfect. Next, we will create the app icon. To do this, we will right click on drawable directory, then select new, then image asset, and from here we will choose the logo for our app icon. And then we will click next, then finish. Okay, so our app icon has been successfully created. Perfect. So now our app is successfully completed. Now it's time to run and test it. Let's go ahead and run the app. Excellent. Our app has opened successfully and you can see that it is working fine. Every time I press the button get joke, it is giving a random joke. Perfect. So in this video, we have created a random joke generator app, which I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. And in next video, we will build a fully functional calculator. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video, we created a random joke generator app, and in this video, we will be build a fully functional calculator. So let's get started. So first, we will open Android Studio and click on new project. Then we will choose empty views activity and click next. And here we will enter the name of our app and leave the rest of setting as default. After that, we will click on finish. Now it will take a little time for the project to build. Perfect. Our project has been successfully built. Now let's close all the files. So we need some colors that we will use later. To do this, we will open the values folder and here we will open the colors.xml file. Here we will add gray color. and an orange color and a dark color. Perfect. Now we need a custom shape for the buttons so that the corners of buttons are slightly rounded. To do this, we will right click on drawable folder, then select new and then new resource file. And here we will enter the name of our file and then click OK. Perfect. So in this file, first we will change the selector to shape. Then we will round all 4 corners to 10 dp. And set a white color for now. Perfect. Now we will open the XML file of main activity and click on split view. Perfect. So first in the constraint layout we will choose a background color. Then we will remove the existing text view. Perfect. Next we will create a button with the width and height set to 80 dp and assign it an ID. Perfect. And set its background to the custom shape we just created. We will set the button's text to 1. Make the text color to white and set the text size to 28 sp and the background tint to dark. Perfect. So now we will set the buttons constraints. So first bottom to bottom of will be parent and end to end of parent also. Horizontal bias to 0.043 and start to start of parent and also top to top of parent. And after that vertical bias to 0.817. Perfect. So our first button is created. Next we will create another button with a width and height of 80 dp and assign it an ID and set its background tint to the custom shape we just created earlier. We will set the text to 2 and make the text color to white and the text size to 28 sp and set the background tint to dark. Then we will set the buttons constraint bottom to bottom of parent and end to end of parent, horizontal bias to 0.352. After that we will set start to start of parent, top to top of also parent and vertical bias to 0.817. Perfect. Next we will create all the buttons in same way. Perfect. We have just created all the buttons. Now we need two text views. One for input, where the button we press will be displayed, and other for the result. Perfect. So we will create a text view with the width and height set to wrap content and assign it an ID. We will set the text color to white and the text size to 68 dp, and then set its constraint to bottom of parent and to end of parent, horizontal bias to 0.909, and after that we will set start to start of parent and top to top of parent and vertical bias to 0.252. Perfect. So our text view has been created. Now we will create another text view with the width and height set to wrap content and assign it an ID. We will set the text color to white and text size to 36 sp. Then we will set its constraint bottom to bottom of parent and to end of parent, and horizontal bias to 0.909. After that we will set start to start of parent and top to top of parent. And vertical bias to 0.051. Perfect. So our calculator apps UI has been created, and in next video we will be build its backend and we will also test it. So see you there. Welcome back developers. In last video we created the user interface for our calculator app, and in this video we will be develop its backend. So let's get started. First we will open Android Studio, and then we will open the Kotlin file of main activity, and we will remove some code that we don't need. Perfect. So now we will define some variable. First we will create a variable called input text view, which will be type of our text view. This variable will be used to display the user's input. Similarly, we will create another text view variable named output text view for displaying the output. Perfect. Next, we will define a string variable named input to hold the user input as a string. We will also need two double variable, operation 1 and operation 2, to store the numerical value for our calculation. And lastly, we will define a string variable called operator to hold the operator used in the calculation. Perfect. Next, we will link our user interface elements to our code. So we will start by assigning our input text view and output text view variable with their corresponding views in the layout using find view by ID. Perfect. After that, we will create a list of buttons that represent the calculator's digit and operations. Each button is linked to its corresponding view in the layout using find view by ID. Perfect. After that, we will click on click listener for each button in the list. This list will trigger a function called handle button click. Whenever a button pressed, the handle button click function will receive the text of the button was clicked, allowing us to perform the appropriate action based on the user input. Now let's define the functions that we will handle input operation of our calculator. First, we will use the append input function. This function takes a string value as a parameter and appends it to the input string. It then updates the input text view to display the current input. Perfect. Next, we will use the append decimal function. This function checks if the input string already contains a decimal point. If it does not, it appends a decimal point to the input and updates the input text view. Next, we will use the handle operator function to handle the selection of an operator. If input string is not empty, it converts the input to a double and assigning it to operation 1, then sets the operator's variable to the selected operators, clear the input and update the input text view. And next we will use the calculate result function to perform the actual calculation. It checks if the both input and operator are not empty. If they are not, it converts the input to double and assign it to operation 2. Then it uses a when statement to determine the operator perform the corresponding calculation. The result displayed in output text view. If there's an error such as division by 0, it displays an error message. Next, we will define additional function to enhance the functionality of our calculator app. We will use the clear input function to reset all inputs and outputs. This function sets the input operation 1, operation 2 and operator variable to their initial values and clear the text in both input text view and output text view. Perfect. We will also use the handle percentage function to handle percentage calculation. If the input string is not empty, it converts the input to a double and divides it by 100 and update the input text view with the result. If there is an error in conversion, it display an error message. And after that we will use the toggle sign function to change the sign of input value. If input string is not empty and not 0, it convert the input to double. Multiplies by -1 and update the input text view with the new value. Next, we will add a few more functions to handle button clicks and determine if a string is numeric. First, we will use a extension function called isNumeric for the string class. This function attempts to convert the string to a double and return true if successful. And false if it throw a number format exception. This will help us to identify numeric inputs. Next, we will use the handle button click function to manage different types of button clicks. This function takes a string value as a parameter and uses when statement to determine the type of input. If the value is numeric, we will use the append input function. And if the value is decimal point, we will use the append decimal function. If the value is an operator, we will use the handle operator function. If the value is equals, we will use the calculate result function. If the value is AC all clear, we will use the clear input function. If the value is a percentage sign, we will use the handle percentage function. And if the value is toggle sign, we will use the toggle sign function. By using the handle button click function, we ensure that each button press is handled properly based on its type, allowing our calculator to function correctly. Alright, let's solve the problem we have noticed in the code. Here, this needs to be converted to double. Perfect. Now our code is bug free. Now let's create the app icon for the app. So for that we will right click on drawable and then select new, then choose image asset. Perfect. From here we will select the logo for our app icon. Perfect. Then we will click next and finish to complete the process. Now let's test it and see how our app works. Perfect. App has opened and it is working very well. Perfect. So we have reached the end of this course. I hope you have learned a lot from this course and enjoy it as well. If you are interested in learning more about Android or any other topic, you can check out our other courses. You will find plenty more to learn. I am Vijay Singh, wishing you a very bright future ahead. Goodbye for now, and I will see you in my other courses.